Hi guys, Rob here. Just thought we'd come out here and play in the desert a little bit. Thought I'd do a little combo video of stumping desert style and play with some DIY tips that I came up with for shooting these particular stumps here. First off, I want to say big thanks to my wife who's helping me do this and being my videographer. Out here in the desert we have Joshua trees, and somewhere I'll throw a picture in of a full-size one so you can see what they look like that have grown. They're actually in their own way quite beautiful. When they die, they tend to fall over, and when they fall over they dry out and their outer skin comes off, and they kind of start turning into like big giant sponges, so they can make pretty good archery targets. And as you can hear, they get a little hollow and whatnot, so they make a good rotten stump. And so we thought we'd come out and shoot some and show you guys how we stump in the desert and play with these tips. Just brought an arrow real quick. You can see that it doesn't take much to bury an arrow in a Joshua tree stump. And let's have some fun. Okay, so here's what we got. Tried these tips out with washers on them. The idea of the washer so that it wouldn't over penetrate. And as you can see here, I make sure I get this in good focus. We had success with the first arrow. Now it didn't over penetrate, and when we go to pull it out, we come up, it only penetrated as deep as the field point. Interesting thing is that some of the rest just bounced right back out. Now two of these have blunt tips, and this one here has a field point, so it stuck but then popped back out. So we're going to pull a couple washers off and try it without the washers and see just how bad these things penetrate and how much we got to dig to get them out. Alright, we're going to try some just straight field points, and hopefully we don't have to dig out the chainsaw and dig them out of here, but I don't think so. But we'll find out real quick here. And a little desert breeze. Sounded solid. Catching all this, Christopher, because this is what we're going to do, buddy. Cool, those stuck good and solid. Okay, now we're going to see how it goes getting these field tips out of this Joshua tree stump. Come over here. Come on in, I'm just kind of watching me work here. These things got in there pretty good. Okay, so what I did was I brought with me my tool. Now, it used to be a screwdriver, but then what we did is we regular screwdriver sharpened up the blade, so that gives me something I can use to just dig out a little material, hopefully. Now we did it. Now, just a note, I was shooting this from about 10 yards away with essentially a 40-pound bow. So if we were shooting farther away, obviously we'd get less penetration. If we were shooting with a 70-pound compound bow, we would be screwed because there would be no way we'd be getting these out of here. But this little screwdriver helps compromise the wood just enough. If I just shove it on one side or the other, up or down grain, I can kind of pry the wood apart and get my arrows out. See how we do this morning. I got an upright one out there at about probably 20 yards. Let's see if we can either bury something in it or get practice in finding an arrow. How about that? Don't be too cocky. Oh yeah, baby. Almost. Oops. I guess we can practice in finding an arrow in the desert. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. See the stump out there? It's a really broken down Joshua tree, and then there's a brand new little sprig that's kind of growing up out of there, kind of almost like it's regenerating. I'm gonna go for that big old rotten section to the left of it and on the floor. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that shot because I'm not having to chase it through the desert. That'll be nice and easy to get out of. Cool. Yeah? Just a little side note here. There's another really beautiful thing about the desert and these Joshua trees. Most of you probably will never be out in this kind of area, but if you were in a survival situation, these are a wonderful resource too, especially these ones that are really broken down. The cool thing about these is, and I didn't bring my big knife with me, actually I do, but these things, when they get to this point where they're literally just falling apart, if you can get your knife or whatever and get you a big section, what these are really good for is like a big giant cigar. So if you're set up camp here today, but you know you need to move from here to from point A to point B, and you want to take fire with you so you don't waste any more matches or whatever, you can take a section of this and get a burning ember on one end, and it'll burn all day, just like a big giant cigar, so you can carry your fire with you and not have to waste valuable resources such as matches. Just a side note. Just a real quick note here, guys. I'm not any kind of a wildlife nature activist, but I do have a strong respect for Mother Nature. We're talking about shooting these Joshua trees, which, you know, beautiful creatures as they are, if you can see the beauty and things, I like to see everything. But here's where I'm going. When we come out here to stump in the desert and we're shooting at stumps, we're shooting at dead, down, drying up Joshua tree stumps. We don't shoot at live ones. As tempting of a target as they might make, we don't do that. Joshua trees are a protected species in the Mojave National Preserve, and aside from that, we just don't want to damage something that's alive and well.
Okay.
Honey, see it in the distance?
Yep.
Now that sucker is about 30 yards, so if I can reach it with these fluke-woos, I'm going to be good. This is going to be interesting. Alright, she just hit and scored it underneath. Yeah, that's got got to be a good 35 yards. All right. There we go. 35 yards on a laying Joshua stump. Can you zoom in on it?
I'm trying.
Now, hitting a Joshua stump is a little more difficult in some respects because it's a horizontal target. And we all know that good form works well with vertical targets and keeps us on line with vertical target, but man, elevation is key when you shoot something that's horizontal. Oh, I sure am glad I decided at one point to go with this bright red and yellow, because you see on the ground, see how well that stands out? I mean, that one buried in a little bit, but it just stands out, and you don't have to lose our precious little arrows, because we love our arrows.
Yep.
See that just like a little block of leftover stump out there. With lots of arrow hiding shrubbery in the background. Oh crap. We're going for a walk on that one, honey. Hit it, but it just glanced. A little lower on it now. There we go, like that. That's going to be a hike finding that one. Let's clean up over that tree. Those two were good. Cool. Now here, boys and girls, is why I like shooting flu-flus, especially with this kind of stuff. It limits my range. This arrow glanced off a stump, went flying over a frickin' mesquite bush that's probably good 14 feet tall. And because it's a flu-flu, as it got up over the mesquite bush, that flu-flu just kind of stalled it, and it just nosedive in, buried right in the ground with those pretty bright fletchings sticking up in the air. That easy to find. Hey guys, just another little side note, because I believe in having fun but being safe. Some of you may have noticed another little accoutrement that I have hanging on me. It's not a monkey, it's my pack, or my sling pack. If you're going to be out in the wilderness, guys, by all means, a big part of having fun is staying safe and staying well. I take this with me all over the place. It's kind of part of my whole survival kit. I do disaster preparedness teaching and stuff, and you can never be too prepared. So when you're out there stumping, try and make sure you've got at least some basic survival necessities, some basic shelter, clothing, ability to start a fire if God forbid you had to stay out overnight, and of course, by all means, no ifs, ands, or buts, especially anywhere, but especially out in the desert, hydration. So make sure you're carrying water. Just for a little day hike, I'm carrying 3 quarts of water right now. It's a little bit heavy, but man, if I need it, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. So just take care of yourselves, and remember to be survival mindseted when you're out here playing in the wilderness, because you never know when that day hike can turn into that 3-day search and rescue survival ordeal.
Yes.
You stump, honey? Scoot over just a little bit. And probably a good 15-20 yards. Oop. Maybe a little less than that. I'll toss the two of them. Oh, all fun. It's all good. You up and running?
Yep.
boys and girls, is safety. You see what that thing did to the stump? Those arrows are no joke. Look, honey, it's a stump. Are you running?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right where I wanted to hit it too. Cool. Still running?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Just a quick note too. That black arrow I'm shooting is way off spine. It's so stiff. It's like for a 70-pound compound bow. Somebody gave it to me. But you know what? You stick flu feathers on the back of that thing, and it stabilizes it, and it gets out there, flies straight, and lands straight. So you got that arrow that's just kind of a little bit off. It's not going to be your target shooting arrow. Make it a flu. It'll work for you. That just does not want to come out. Just a field point stuck in there too. It's not, the arrow's not buried, it's just a field point. Just found a hard spot in there. Here we go. Just a little twist. Oops. Throw a little twist into it. Right hand twist, mind you, so it doesn't screw out of the brush. Okay guys, we'll just close it out for now. Hope you guys enjoyed and got a little information. I just want to say a big, huge thanks to my loving wife who's so supportive and was my videographer today. Had a little fun out here stumping desert style. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys sometime soon. And Client TST guys.